जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन। यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन। यमुनतीरावनचारि। यमुनतीरावनचारि। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोधनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन। यशोधनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन। यमुनतीरावनचारि। यमुनतीरावनचारि। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaur Hari Bol Yugadharma Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayamudiraye
Tato Jayamudiraye
Nastaprayeshu Bhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavatir Uttama Sloke
Bhagavate Uttama Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistikir.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishiti.
Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 30, The Activities of Prachetas. Text 1. Vidura uvacha ye tvaya vihita brahman suta prachina barhishaha te rudra gitena harim siddhim apu pratoshakam ye tvaya vihita brahman suta prachina barhisaha te rudra gitena harim siddhim apu pratoshakam ye tvaya vihita brahman suta prachina barhishaha te rudra gitena harim siddhim apu pratoshakam. Vidura uvacha ye tvaya vihita brahman suta prachina barhishaha tena rudra gitena harim siddhim apu pratoshakam. ye tvaya vihita brahman suta prachina barhishaha te rudra gitena harim siddhim apu pratoshakam. Vidura uvacha ye tvaya vihita brahman suta prachina barhisaha te rudra gitena harim siddhim apu pratoshakam. Vidura uvacha ye tvaya vihita brahman sutah prachina barhishaha te rudra gitena harim siddhim apu pratoshakam. Word to word meaning. Vidura uvacha. Vidura said, ye, those who, tvaya, by you, abhihitaha, were spoken about, Brahman, O Brahmana, Sutaha, sons, Prachina Barihishaha, of King Prachina Barihi, they, all of them, Rudra Gitena, by the song composed by Lord Shiva.
the song composed by Lord Shiva,
Harim,
Harim,
the Lord,
the Lord,
Siddhim,
Siddhim,
success,
success,
Apuhu,
Apu,
achieved,
achieved,
Pratosya,
Pratosya,
having satisfied,
having satisfied,
calm.
calm.
What?
What?
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Vidura inquired from Maitreya, O Brahmana, you formerly spoke about the sons of Prachina Barihi and informed me that they satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead by chanting a song composed by Lord Shiva. What did they achieve in this way? Purport. In the beginning, Maitreya Rishi narrated the activities of the sons of Prachinabari. These sons went beside a great lake, which was like an ocean. And fortunately, finding Lord Shiva, they learned how to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead by chanting the song composed by Lord Shiva. Now, their father's attachment for fruitive activities was disapproved by Narada, who therefore kindly instructed Prachinabarihi by telling him the allegorical story of Puranjana. Now, Vidura again wanted to hear about Prachinabarihi's sons, and he was especially inquisitive to know what they achieved by satisfying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Here the words Siddhim Apuhu or achieved perfection are very important. Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 7.4, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye. Out of many millions of people, one may be interested in learning how to attain success in spiritual matters. The supreme success is mentioned also in Bhagavad Gita 8.15. Mam upatye punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanaha samsiddhim paramam gataha. After attaining me, the great souls who are yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. And what is that highest perfection? That is also explained in this verse. The highest perfection is to return home back to Godhead, so that one will not have to return to this material world and transmigrate from one body to another in the dream of material existence. By the grace of Lord Shiva, Pratetas actually attain perfection and return home back to Godhead after enjoying material facilities to the highest extent. Maitreya will now narrate that to Vidura. Om Ajnanatimrandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamavyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganaragunatanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijanasahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Saganalalita Shri Vishakhanvitanscha Namaom Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Vicharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauratishve Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langayate girim yat krupatamaham vande Shri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. Translation. Vidura inquired from Maitreya, O Brahmana, you formerly spoke about the sons of Prachinabari and informed me that they satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead by chanting a song composed by Lord Shiva. What did they achieve in this way? So we are starting a new chapter, that is the activities of Prachetas. So most of the end part of this fourth canto, where we are mostly discussing about the activities of Prachinabari and the sons Prachetas. So till now, like we have seen in the chapter 24, that is called Rudragit, which is the song sung by Lord Shiva, when Prachetas, 10 sons of Prachinabari, were given the instruction to go to forest and do tapasya so that they can become eligible to get married. So before this Prachinabari is a great king. So before he gives his responsibility, the kingdom activities to the sons, so he said to get married. And these Prachetas, instead of going to shadi.com, they went to the forest to do severe austerities to get mercy from the Lord. So that's what the procedure was in the olden days. Even we have seen, I think Kardama Muni, he also did the same thing. So instead of he is such a powerful yogi Muni, he can create hundreds of celestial beings, but still he didn't do that. He went to the forest, did tapasya, he pleased the Lord, then by the mercy of the Lord, by their permission, he got a Devahuti. And when Devahuti was there and Kardama Muni was doing so many spiritual activities and she was helping, then she requested finally, I want a son, I want to be a mother. Then we see in that story, which in the third canto it comes, when there was a condition between the Kardama Muni and Devahuti, that as soon as the son comes, then he will leave the home and goes for the performing tapasya. So the same thing happened. So as soon as Kapila Muni came, so he left the home. But in this time course, he created a big palace which is flying, which can float, and he created so many maid servants for the Devahuti. He has that ability to create a beautiful woman, but still he didn't do it. He went to the forest and did severe austerities. Same thing, Prachetas also got an instruction from the father to go and do austerities in the forest. So they carried the orders of their father on their head and they went. And here it is said, when they are searching a place, a suitable, favorable place to do tapasya, they found a lake which is very calm, and it is a very big, wide, like an ocean. And from there they found Lord Shiva. And by the mercy of Lord Shiva, so they got some prayers, Rudra Gita, which will definitely please the Lord with the prayers. And if you see in this 24th chapter, chanting the song sung by Lord Shiva, Rudra Gita, at the end, chapter 10, Lord Shiva himself says, last to 78, 79 slokas, he says, a devotee who rises early in the morning and with the folded hands chants these prayers sung by Lord Shiva and give facility to others to hear them certainly becomes free from the all burdens of fruitive activities. Later it says, my dear sons of king, the prayers I have recited to you are meant for pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Super Soul. I advise you to recite these prayers which are as effective as a great austerities. In this way, when you are mature, your life will be successful and you will certainly achieve all your desired objectives without fail. So that was the last sloka of 24th chapter. Then here next in the next chapter it says like the my dear Vidura, in this way Lord Shiva instructed the sons of King Barhishat. The sons of the king also worship Lord Shiva with great devotion and respect. Finally, Lord Shiva became invisible to the princess. All the Prachitas princes simply stood in the water for 10,000 years and recited the prayers given to them by Lord Shiva. And there ends, there Maitreya ends the story of Prachitas. Then he enters in the next verse, he enters, while the princes were undergoing severe austerities in the water, their father was performing different types of fruitive activities. Then the father comes in the scene. At this time, the great Saint Narada, master and teacher of all spiritual life, became very compassionate upon king and decided to instruct him about the spiritual life. Like that, then the characters of King Puranjana starts, and the 5 chapters was being spoken to transform the king and make him a devotee. So this was an expert preacher, Narad Muni, by being compassionate. So we have seen like how now Prachinavar, he was given up everything, his kingdom, everything, and he is doing only devotional, performing only devotional activities which is pleasing to the Lord. And even he left the kingdom, he thought like let me wait, my sons are there doing austerity, let them come so that I can give them responsibility, kingdom responsibility. But without any note, he just left the home. He didn't give any note that I am leaving the forest, you please maintain, nothing. He left because he is so detached now, because that's only happened because mercy of the pure devotee, Narad Muni. And here in this verse, and the further you can see like here, in the further slokas it is clearly mentioned. So the sons of King Prachinavari, known as Prachitas, underwent the austerities within the sea water to carry out the orders of their father. By chanting and repeating the mantras as given by Lord Shiva, they were able to satisfy Lord Vishnu. Same thing, that the end of the chapter has been kept here, repeated here. Then it is said, at the end of 10,000 years of their severe austerities performed by the Prachitas, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to reward their austerities, appeared before them. His very pleasing form. This appealed to the Prachitas and satisfied the labor of their austerity. So here Vidura was very much inquisitive to know about the Prachitas, what they have done, because in between Narad Muni, Maitreya Muni has stopped, and he brought the story of his father, their Prachita's father. So now as Prachinavari is now delivered, so now he is asking, okay, what happened to the sons? Please elaborate on that. Then the further chapter goes, the activities of Prachitas, how they stood together. The 10 sons of Prachinavari, Prachitas, they all together stood in water, below the water for 10,000 years, chanting these prayers together cooperatively, and they pleased, by doing this severe austerity, they pleased the Lord Vishnu. And within very less time, Lord appeared there, and they were very much satisfied by seeing the Lord's form. So in that way the story goes, and they also definitely achieve the perfection. They goes back home, back to Godhead. So at the end of this sloka purport, Prabhupada returns here, like by the grace of Lord Shiva, the Prachesas actually attained perfection and returned home back to Godhead after enjoying material facility to the highest extent. Maitreya will now narrate that to the Vidura. So it will going to start now. So here we have to see there is one important word, that is Siddhi Apuhu. So what success they achieved? This was the question which Vidura was asking to Maitreya. So we should know, we are also doing the same thing what Prachesas are trying to do. We are also doing some austerities, not going out, not going for movies, not going for cinema halls or malls and all, and doing some austerity, eating only which is offered to the Lord, controlling our tongue, not to give any other items which is not offered to the Lord. So these are the things which we have been instructed to follow it, and we are doing this kind of austerity. And maybe like initially it will be bit difficult to follow this austerity, but later when we are getting the taste what we are doing austerity and the purpose behind that, then we are started relishing it. Now no one feels like, oh, I'm missing outside food, junk food. No, they feel, hey, this is junk food, it's all not healthy, and it is mostly like karmi food, and if we eat that we'll get spoil our consciousness. So we try to avoid it, and we control our tongue, saying that no, only prasad. So no for any other food outside which is not offered to the Lord. So some kind of austerity we are doing it. So it is also the aim behind this is just to please the Lord, because Lord has said in Bhagavad Gita, like whatever you have you should offer to Him with love and devotion. So we are able to cook something, even it is rice dal, we are offering to the Lord, and we are taking as a remnant mercy of the Lord, honoring it and thinking that in gratitude, thanking the Lord, like by His mercy we got this, and with that we are trying to purify our consciousness and purify our existence. So it's all kind of austerity what we are doing here. So similarly here Prachesas were also doing severe austerity. So like Vidura was puzzled, like what they are going to achieve by doing this kind of austerity. 10,000 years, standing in the water is not a joke. We can't even stay submerged in the water for 10 seconds. We'll be coming out out of water, for the breath, for the air, right? So but they are doing this kind of severe austerity and staying together. That's a very important thing, cooperating each other. So all 10 brothers were having only one goal, like we have to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead just by chanting this prayer, Rudra Gita. So they are doing that 10,000 years. They never even questioned, like they didn't got even a single doubt, why we are here together. No, it's very difficult here. I don't want to go out of you. No, I want to do some other important activities. I have to do. No, we are all together, one point focus. So that was the pleasing activity what they did, and that pleased the Lord a lot, so much. In the further verses we will come to know how Lord glorifies them. Lord doesn't glorify the austerities what they have done, severe austerities what they have done, but Lord really appreciates the cooperativeness among themselves, and they have stayed together and performed devotional activities with a lot of enthusiasm. So that's Lord appreciates them. Lord says that this activity what you have done, staying together and performing devotional activity, is pleasing me a lot. Lord was so pleased with that activity. Similarly, we should also try to do the activity what we are doing, we should do together, and with the spirit of enthusiasm, we should try to please the Lord. There should be no other motive behind it, like there should be no jealous or enviousness, like he is doing more, I should also do something, I should not for show off. That doesn't create a Lord, that doesn't please the Lord. Rather, Lord will be like troubled by our activities. So here we can see this material enjoyment. One of the synonym of material enjoyment is suffering. So as soon as when someone is running behind this material enjoyment, means they are for sure going to suffer. As soon as he touches any material object, he is going that kind of suffering. That is how this world is being created. Dukhalayam ashashvatam. Whatever activity which is trying to enjoy your senses, those activities what we are doing, that will obviously give us suffering. And foolish people, they run behind it, saying that no, this give me material happiness, I will be very happy with this. There are different levels of it, like this is one of the foolish person who just run behind thinking that when I do this activity I will get a lot of happiness, without with like in ignorance he runs behind it. But some people, they run, they want this material happiness, but actually it is suffering. But they feel like this is a happiness, so I have to go to some demigods and worship them and get this happiness. They do like this. This is one kind of category of people. And there are some people who, they approach the Lord, Supreme Lord, not to please the Lord, but just to get some kind of material benefit. But there are some people who, they don't want all these things, but they want to just know the activities of the Lord. But yet, they want to just very inquisitive to know about the Lord activities. They read so many scriptures, they hear so many things. Vedas they read, Upanishads they read, they become masters in that philosophy and all. But service attitude is missing in that. Loving service attitude is missing. So above this is the one who has developed the service attitude to the Lord. So for example, we can see the Brajavasis. They don't have much understanding about philosophy, Vedas, scriptures and all. But still, they have unconditional love for the Lord. They love so much. Like there is, that's what it says, like the highest devotional service who are performing are the gopis or Brajavasis. One time Uddhava went to Vrindavan when Krishna was not there. Krishna was there in Mathura, I think. Then gopis were inquiring about Krishna and Uddhava was glorifying the activities what Krishna is doing. And when he is demonstrating this, all the Brajavasis who are hearing that, they are in ecstasy and they are demonstrating the activities of the Lord, and they are enacting the pastimes of the Lord and having tears in the eyes, having so many ecstasy symptoms. So Uddhava was seen astonished by their devotion and love for the Lord. Then he started glorifying gopis and Brajavasis, saying that you are so elevated devotees. You are enacting, demonstrating the pastimes of the Lord when I am narrating. then gopis were not behind their glorification. They says to Uddhava, you have come here to glorify the Lord, please glorify, don't glorify us. They says. They are so simple. They are not behind name, fame, all these things. And austerity should be performed in a such a way that it should be pleasing to the Lord. Even if we can see like Prabhupada was doing so much austerity. He was sacrificed his sleep to write the scriptures. And Goswamis were also like that. Hardly they were able to, like they were taking out time to sleep. Most of the time they're all like trying to narrate the pastimes, discuss more pastimes of the Lord, and they are in that mood. But they are also doing so much austerities, sleeping 2 hours and taking bare minimum, like palm full of some buttermilk, something like that. They are not worried about like their maintenance and all, but they are very blissful, very happy, and they never complain like I am doing so much austerity and all. And no one knows like they are the Goswamis and they are like doing so much such as severe austerities. Even Sanatana Goswami when he was there in Jagannath Puri, he was eating some of the remnants which are coming out of that temple, Raghunath Das Goswami, and Swarup Das Goswami has saw that. Then he noticed that he is doing severe austerity. Then he went and said to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is what austerity is doing. Before that, Raghunath Das Goswami never went and complained or said that no, I am doing such a great austerity. But we like we did a little austerity and we glorify so much that I am doing so much austerity. So that's what make the difference. The austerity should be done in a proper mood also, or else we will not get any much benefit. Like yesterday we were discussing what should be the mood of a person of this morning program. So we should maintain that mood, like since from the morning, starting from Samsara Dhava till Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Mahaprasad. Okay. So till then, how is our consciousness? We have to try to see, and we have to try to develop that proper mood. So that's what like here also Prachinabari sons, Prachetas were doing great austerity just to please the Lord. Not any other, they don't have any other motive with them. Not to make themselves famous. When Lord appears in front of them, Lord says them, gives the benediction saying that no, the activities what you are doing will be glorified in 3 worlds, he says. But they didn't do this austerity just to get this benediction saying that no, my glory should be sung in 3 worlds. No. Their only job was to just glorify the Lord, to just please the Lord. So when we have this kind of mood, like Lord is the master, I am the servant, I am supposed to please. The activity, whatever I am doing, should be pleasing to the Lord. Then whatever activity which you are doing, it will be success. So like this, the Vidura was asking what did they have achieved in this way. The purport, Prabhupada gave the answer saying that no, they have achieved the highest perfection, going back home, back to Godhead. They have achieved the Supreme Lord. And it says like after enjoying material facilities to the highest extent. So one thing we should understand, why Lord is giving these material facilities to the devotees when they don't want it. Even though in the case of Dhruva, in case of Prahlad also, you can see they are being achieved that benediction from the Lord, and they don't want anything. Prahlad Maharaj, like Dhruva Maharaj clearly says, like I am searching for the pieces of glasses, but now I got you a gem, diamond. I don't want anything. I am fully satisfied. And still, Lord made him like king for 70,000 years, something like that. He made a king, which he don't want. He said like, I don't want even that big planet which I was desiring, which should be bigger than my grandfather Brahma. Yeah, I don't want. But still Lord gives. Why Lord gives? There is a reason behind it. Because they are able, they are not, Lord knows that they are eligible, and Lord knows that if I give this material opulence, they will not never get entangled in that. That is a qualification which they have achieved. So only Lord is giving it. If someone thinks like, no, I am not able to achieve this because you are not qualified. Simple. For that you have to gain qualification. What you have to do? Just please the Lord. Everything will be given. But the process of pleasing the Lord will definitely purify our consciousness. Like how Dhruva Maharaj got purified. He is just doing austerity just to get material opulence. The process which Narad Muni has given to him purified his consciousness, and finally when he saw the Lord, he said, I don't have any desire now. Similarly, the Prachetas, when they are doing austerity, their only job was to please the Lord. And Lord Shiva, by the mercy of Lord only, this all arrangement. From nowhere Lord Shiva emerges. In the starting of the Rudragit, if you read, they were just searching for a place, going in the forest. They goes to a place of near to the Kailash, and there they saw one lake, which is like a vast, like ocean. It is said it is a sea water only. It's mentioned here in the 4th verse. It's like ocean only. It's like, but it is mentioned as a lake. And from the lake, Lord Shiva was there. And it's like how this coincidence happened. Having a pure devotee. Until unless pure devotee never enters into someone's life, there is no transformation. So you can see Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, Narad Muni enters. And even here, Prachinabari case also. Yes, Narad Muni was so compassionate on them. So he came voluntarily to help him. And here also Lord Shiva voluntarily came to help Prachetas, because Prachetas was carrying the orders of their fathers with great responsibility. So that pleases Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva came there to give them this process to how to please the Supreme Lord. Because pure devotees knows how to please the Lord. Prabhupada knows how to please. So only he gave this process. Chanting, reading, hearing, service, deity worship, all this process he has given. So it's a simple process. So just by doing this act, definitely we are going to please the Lord. So we have to stick to this process. That is very important. So 10,000 years, it's not 1-2 years, 10,000 years. Yeah, but for them it was 10,000 years is like Satya Yuga is 1 lakh years, so it's just one part. So for Kali Yuga beings, for us also now 10,000, 1 lakh years is shortened to 100 years. So we have to stick to this, and we have to try for this short span, 100 years, we have to try to process, try to take this process seriously, and till our last moment we should not leave this, and we should execute this process with full faith. Then only we can easily achieve in this very lifetime the Supreme Lord. So with this I would like to pause today's session. So any comments, questions or corrections?
So this shloka is always a very, this one, that Lord blessing the Prachetas. So that is the 8th shloka of this chapter. So in that, they are spending time, so much time in underwater, but he's glorifying there. They are all staying together, that is big thing. And So in that way, like especially in Kali Yuga, for all of us, staying together is a very big austerity, and when we do that, Krishna becomes very pleased. So that is nice point. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. That was a very nice class with a lot of pure devotional subjects that you highlighted. This was very nice towards the end that you said that pure devotees know how to please the Lord and they give us the process. So we are very fortunate that Srila Prabhupada has, he's a pure devotee, Senapati Bhakta of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he has given us a process. So as you said, we have to execute this process with full faith because a pure devotee has given. So this confidence and this faith if we have, then our progress will be very fast. And also the class you started with how the devotees, for everything they go to the Lord. So you said that Prachetas and Kardama Muni, they didn't go to shadi.com. They went to the Lord. So yes, that is like very nice because finally when we go to the Lord, Lord will purify us. If we do it on our own or go to someone else, maybe we'll get that thing, but we will not get purified. Huh? We'll misuse also. Yes, correct. So these are some of the points which were very nice. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So it's really a very nice class. So first point that you mentioned that unity is required to please the Lord. Yes, in the age of Kali we stay together. Anarthas are there in the heart. Don't know when it will come up. There may be misunderstandings. Anything can happen. But just keeping in this in the mind, whatever problem may be happening in between the devotees or any other people, if we just stay together, that will be pleasing to Prabhupada and Krishna. So that is one point which I liked. And the next thing is whatever austerity, whatever activity service we do, so we should do in the mood of pleasing the Lord. That will nourish us and make us progress more fastly. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, this point I like that Lord is pleased with not with the austerity but cooperating with each other, and we have to do that. And austerity not meant for our own selves but to please Krishna. That kind of austerity we have to do. And Prabhupada told the simple basic austerity of attending morning program, waking up in the morning and chanting 1604 regs. So this basic austerity. And the last point you told is unless until pure devotee comes into our life, no transformation will happen. So how much ever we try and how much endeavor, somehow or other committing offenses or somewhere will be lacking to transform ourselves and progressing in devotional service. So pure devotees entering into our life is very much required, and Prabhupada Vani is always there. That's how that's entering into our life, and many other great souls are available taking their personalization, many things. Thank you, Prabhuji.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी बताया कि ऑस्टेरिटी का मतलब क्या होता है कि अब अभी प्रसाद हम ले रहे हैं तो इसको में बहुत सारा हो कि जो फूड कई जगह बाहर नहीं लेते हैं, क्यों नहीं लेते हैं, तो वो भी फूड है ये भी फूड है तो क्यों नहीं लेना है, तो कोई भी दूसरा टेम्पल में भी नहीं ले सकते हैं ये सब वो भी ऑस्टेरिटी है क्योंकि हम भगवान को ऑफर करते हैं और प्रॉपर मोड में ही ऑफरिंग होना है कि पता नहीं वो क्या कर रहे हैं तो हम कंट्रोल करके रखते हैं, तो वो भी एक ऑस्टेरिटी रहता है। और एक बताया कि सभी को साथ में जो प्रचेत अभी बताया कि 10,000 सालों साथ में बैठ के तपस्या किए और भगवान ने आके बोले कि अब साथ में तो इसलिए मैं आपका पास आपको कोई तपस्या के वो अलग सा बात है, बट आप साथ में थे तो मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लगा इसलिए आए। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna. So this point, as I already mentioned, that how the Prachetas did austerities for 10,000 years, yet the Lord was pleased how they stayed together and together they performed devotional service. The Lord was more pleased by the cooperation among them. And second thing, that austerities, as you mentioned, the mood should be correct to perform the austerities. Many people perform austerities for some or the other reason, but if the mood is correct, as you gave the example of Srila Prabhupada and Goswamis, like they hardly slept, so they wanted to please the Lord. So with that mood, if austerities is performed, so that is most beneficial. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the lecture. A few points I've noted down. We started with um, the topic of how people, like you give the example of Kadabamani and how even here the Prachetas, they first they approach the Lord and perform austerities, seeking the mercy of the Lord, the blessings of the Lord. But we see how this practice has been degrading through the years. Like it was first people approaching the Lord, then they would approach their parents, but now people just they believe in themselves that their own endeavors will help them attain success. But you see how it's degrading, this process. But from we understand from the great personalities that one must seek the mercy of the Lord first, and then everything becomes auspicious. And these austerities may seem difficult at the start, but then once we start endeavoring only with the thought that we must satisfy the Lord, then we start developing taste. And seeing these austerities, when the Lord is pleased, He in turn, He glorifies His devotees instead. So that's a very nice point. And you emphasize throughout this talk of yours, you emphasize on the fact that one must always maintain the mood of that I am a servant and I must always endeavor to please the Lord. And that must be the mood that must be maintained throughout this process. Thank you so much.
Question also. So this thing you gave the example of in this, after enjoying material facilities to the highest extent, you were telling this Dhruv Maharaj and Prahlad Maharaj also. But still, I was not able to properly understand how can, like, after they have attained perfection, how can they enjoy the material facilities and how can be in that?
So, why Lord gives, even they achieve the perfection, why He gave this material opulence? Because they are not going to entangle in these material activities. They are eligible. So, see, the person who is not qualified, if they are being given this material opulence, he will definitely misuse. For sure, he is not going to use for the Lord service. He will get the tendencies to enjoy himself. For his own enjoyment, he will use it. He will exploit it, and he will do all kind of nonsense with that. But why Lord gives this kind of material opulence to the devotee? Because they have realized, they understood clearly, like, no, whatever is being given to me, it's a mercy of the Lord. I should engage this in the service of the Lord. So only when they are being given a big, like even Ambrish Maharaj in the case, when you read this chapter of Ambrish Maharaj, you can see how opulent he was. He was having a lot of gold, he was having a lot of palaces, he was having a lot of elephants, horses, maid servants. But yet, he is not at all affected with anything. He is just one-pointed focus, doing devotional service to the Lord. And using all these opulence, whatever they have, using in the service of the Lord. The same thing, if you give it to me, then definitely I will maybe like misguided. So Lord is so careful. He is like a father. He knows if I give 10 rupees to a child, he will go and purchase cigarette and smoke. So rather, he will not give 10 rupees, say that no, he will take 1 rupee. He will go and buy a chocolate. So like that, Lord knows, like, how much has to be given. So when you are fully qualified, Lord is ready to sell himself to you. But for that, you have to have that qualification. Yeah. See, there is one. How can it enjoy? Means like they are not materially affected. Even though you are given, they are not materially affected with that. They may be enjoying, look like they are enjoying. There is one pastime in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Who is that name? Pundranik Vidyanidhi. So he was in a royal what do you call? Yeah, he was having that royal dress and women's all around. And when who went? Mahaprabhu and Gadadhar Pandit, when they went, they saw like, they got, Gadadhar Pandit got shocked, I think. How come he's a devotee? He is enjoying with the girls and eating that pan and having some kind of drinks and all. Then Murari Gupta, he just narrated one sloka, then Pundarik Vidyanidhi was like tearing all his clothes, like became a mad and he was rolling on the ground. So it's just they are just carrying their duty. Even Dhruva Maharaj, he don't want to rule his kingdom, but it's been given. Even though if you see Prachitas, when they came out, they started burning the trees. You can say how come they become pure and how come they are exhibiting the anger? Without anger, you can't invoke the fire. It is said how can they burn the trees? How can they harm the living entities? No, that is a job that has been given to them, not to find out the baby. There is a girl who is into the trees for whom you have to get married. So you have to find out. Then they started burning all the trees around. Then they found the girl. Then they get married to that. And Dhruva Maharaj was also he was very angry on Yakshas. He was completely vanquishing the Yakshas dynasty. He was killing, they have killed his brother. Why? He's a pure devotee. How can he exhibit such anger? It's there. Means anger, these things are there, but they know how to use it in the right way in the Lord's service. It's not it's not there. It's there. The anger is there in the Hanuman also, but he used in the right way to put a fire on the Lanka. He did it. Right when Lord was appreciating, glorifying the activity what Hanuman has done. So it's not astonishing material things or opulence is not given by the Lord. Definitely when you become a pure devotee, Lord is going to give it to you also. But how? For everyone who become pure. But how expertly you are using it in the service of the Lord is because you are being you are convinced fully so. ठीक है ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय शील प्रभुपाद की जय